gentlemen, heels and heelettes, welcome back to the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. Today, we are covering Impact Wrestling's Against All Odds, their latest Impact Plus special. We couldn't get enough people for a round table, so this is a blunt Impact special, which means I am your boy, Chris G. I'm joined by my co-host, the three-time baby-making champion, Ness, and I'm joined by my co-host, Mary Jane. Ness, where's your Mary Jane today?
I had to put Mary Jane on the back burner. My apologies to my pie heel brethren, Chris G. Sorry to Mary Jane, but I got to stay sober for a few hours.
It's totally understandable. I'll smoke enough for the both of us. It's cool.
Thank you. Appreciate it, brother.
We will be covering the Impact Against All Odds Impact Plus special that happened on Saturday, June 12th. As we record this, it is the Puerto Rican Day Parade. That's why I don't have a wrestling shirt on. I'm Captain Boricua for today. But before we get into this, we got to remind everybody at home, please hit those thumbs up, like this video, share this video, comments on this video. Let us know what you liked, what you didn't like, what was your match of the night, who's your jabroni of the night, who's your MVP. We will be giving ours later on. If you got star ratings for these matches, we'd like to hear those as well. Ness, I'm going to count down from 3 to 1 to smoke Mary Jane. I would appreciate if you did the countdown for me.
You know what? That's the least I can do right now. So 3, 2, 1. Boom. I forgot to ask if you were ready, but clearly you were already ready. So I didn't even need to.
It's like, sometimes I forget myself if I'm ready and I just light up.
Yeah.
We're going to work a little backwards today. We are going to start with the main event. We are going to start with the match, the highly anticipated match. I know on our end, definitely one of the most anticipated matches we've been looking forward to this year. It is your Impact World Champion, Kenny by God Omega, putting up his title against Moose. This match is taking place at Daly's place. We have Tony Schiavone, Scott D'Amore, Don Callis on commentary, which was pretty cool to hear. This match went about 35 minutes, somewhere around there, 30 to 40 minutes in that range. Great back and forth match. Just Moose and bringing his power versus Kenny and his speed. Kenny using his speed to bring Moose down to his level, but Moose just using his power to counter and hit big power moves on Kenny. We have a nice couple spots in this match. Kenny was on the railing. Moose went to go take his head off, but he flies over the railing, hits a few rows of chairs, comes back up, and he is holding onto his shoulder. It looks like he hurt himself. Kenny starts working on the arm outside the ring, in the ring, just working on that arm. Nice back and forth again. We get some brutal V-triggers to the shoulder and the head by Kenny Omega to Moose. Moose hits a vicious lariat, but as he does that, his shoulder looks like it pops out of place. Kayfabe, of course. The doc comes in to check the arm. Moose tells him to get the hell out of here. Kenny takes advantage, goes up top, but as he's trying to go up top to hit a Moose climbs up to the top and hits the Spanish fly, but he couldn't cover in time. 1-2, kick out. Moose goes for a spear, but Kenny throws referee Brian Hebner into it, and he gets speared into next week. Then out comes, because Ness likes to big book this shit, out comes the greatest tag team in the world, the Young Bucks. And they throw a nice little super kick party with Moose, hit him with a few BTE triggers. We get an assisted one-wing angel, and that is the win. 1, 2, 3. Scott at the end on commentary says, "This is bullshit!" I give this match 4.25 stars. Would have been 5 stars if Moose would have won, but 4.25 stars because it was a good match. But towards the end, we get the glitch, and out comes Sami Callihan, fresh from his appearance on the opening match of this card. Yeah. He travels fast. Somehow he got from Nashville to Jacksonville in about 2.5 hours. But he takes out the Elite with his bat. He threatens to kill Kenny and take him out like he took out Eddie Edwards all those years ago. But Don Callis fires Sami Callihan. He is the EVP. He can do whatever he wants. Him and Scott, pissed off, walk to the back, and we close the show with Sami saying, "This is bullshit, Don." A lot to digest, but I love the fucking match. I love the angle with Sami getting fired because now it brings a little even more intrigue of what's gonna happen at Slammiversary. I'm here for the Young Bucks causing this dirty finish because it keeps Moose looking strong. And now we know we know it now, and now it's getting confirmed little by little. Moose is getting that rematch. He is gonna be the guy to take that fucking championship, but it's not gonna happen yet. And I'm even more happy for that because now we could just drag this out, keep Kenny as champion, keep having those banger matches, and just a good way to cap off this pay-per-view, to be honest. Ness, how'd you feel about all this in the main event?
Yeah, man, this was definitely a main event match, main event caliber. Having it in Daly's place was a great idea to, like to throw a twist and turn in the closing angle. Once again, first of all, let's just start here. It was nice to see an Impact match in front of fans. Like that was definitely a great touch to this match. Just back and forth between Kenny and Moose, man. It was just they had some nice moments. It was just like a lot of back and forth action that I expected it, but they just took it to another level. A couple of the spots, like the one you mentioned where Moose was trying to hit him with a crossbody on the railing, and he just missed and took out the whole back row of chairs, like literally knocked down the whole back row of chairs. Then there was the Spanish, I'm gonna call it the Spanish horsefly, because he's bigger than a regular fly. So, it got to be the horsefly. And like just the athleticism in Moose is just unparalleled. With a guy that size, he can move like that. I know there's a lot of guys in, professional wrestling today, bigger guys that can move a lot, but I think Moose might be at the top. He just seems to do it just so effortlessly. And where there's a lot of guys that can do it, but they like hesitate, they got to like stutter step. Moose just goes and does his thing, and it just looks just effortless. Yes, I did bake book the finish with the Young Bucks. I'm not even gonna hold you. At one point, I thought since Sammy was in the opening match, I thought that the Good Brothers might have been the ones that could get to Daly's place from Nashville. I'm like, well, shit. I said the Young Bucks, but it might be the Good Brothers. But eventually, I just knew it wasn't going to be a clean finish. And at the end of the day, that's what I'm pretty sure both of us wanted. If Moose wasn't winning, unfortunately, we kind of had an idea that he wasn't. We just didn't want it to be a clean finish. Don't derail Moose. All this buildup that you've had over the pretty much like a year's worth of building up and momentum behind him, just for him to, take a clean loss wouldn't have did him any favors. Honestly, it would have helped Kenny, but, where would he go from there in Impact when the biggest threat was Moose, but I'm glad they didn't do it that way. It's great that they used the Young Bucks. I'm hoping now that we can have the Young Bucks return to Impact. They had their first run as Generation Me. Now they are, even though they were the Young Bucks then, but like now they are the Young Bucks now. So I would love to see them mix it up in some tag team matches. I don't care who it is, because it's the Young Bucks, so they can face anybody. They can face two wet mops, and it'll at least be 4 stars. So overall, I enjoy this match thoroughly. And then like the post match with Sammy coming out, him getting fired, that's definitely going to add some more intrigue to the storyline. It might be a little bit early, but I'm saying that I'm not gonna big book it, but I'm just going to throw some shit in the dark that the Slammiversary main event is probably not going to be a triple threat. Moose has a stake to the claim still. These guys they interfered in the match. They couldn't beat him clean. But one thing one teeny tiny nitpick that I have of this match, the referee spot was done well. It was just everything after the referee spot. Like he's like taking so long. He's trying hard as shit not to turn around and see what's going on in the ring. And I'm like, I'm nitpicking, yes. And I'm watching the ref while all this is happening and shit. And he's just like not trying to turn around. So I get that. Like you got to sell it, make the story make sense. But when the Bucks yell out BTE trigger, the ref is not, like, he's clearly awake because he's still moving and shit. So I'm pretty sure he can hear them say nobody in the ring in the initial in the match does the BTE trigger. Not Kenny, not fucking Moose. So clearly he would know that somebody was in the match. But again, that's just me nitpicking. You know, I gotta suspend my belief. Sorry guys, I didn't for the time being. I would have gave it more. I probably would have gave it a 4.5, but I give it again. I also give it 4.25 stars. Definitely a great match. And yeah, now I just want to see where they go with it from every which angle. What they do with Moose, what they do with Sammy, the breakdown between Don and Scott. Like it's a lot that they're gonna take from this, and I'm just glad that it was a well executed match, and I just want to see the storylines well executed.
Yes, definitely. Looking forward to Slammiversary even more now.
Yeah.
Because of that main event. But we can't just stop at the main event. We have to go through the rest of the card. So we will start with the opening match. We have Tommy Dreamer and Sami Callihan versus the Good Brothers in a street fight. And these guys beat the shit out of each other. Pretty much turns hitting each other with trash cans, trash can lids, chairs, chains, sticks, pans, whatever they found, they hit each other with. Did this for a few minutes basically until they bring out a table. They get the magic killer on Tommy through the table, but Sammy breaks up the pin, beats down the Good Brothers with the bat, and then it's Carl Anderson to get the win. 2 stars. Quick little destructive match just to open us up, get us hyped. Wasn't that long. Felt faster, honestly, because even though it's like a slow, not much to it match, they kept it flowing where they just hit each other with shit until they had to go to their spots. So I enjoyed it. This for me pretty much signified that, yep, Good Brothers aren't gonna make it. This is a weird Sami Callihan angle, but I like it, especially with what we know happened in the future now, him getting fired and stuff. The match was cool. It was a good opener. How'd you feel?
Yeah, I gave it a 2.5. Probably, I'm probably gonna drop it actually down to 2.25. It was decent opener, but it kind of was like you're running a run of the mill hardcore tag team match. Like, you know, really wasn't much going on except for the times that they had to run and get into not running into the spots, but so the times that they had the spot set up. You know, I was expecting a little bit more out of this match. Not so much of a blood feud, but there is a lot behind the story in this match where they just keep attacking Sami Callihan, and you know, they see him as a threat to Kenny's championship, you know, so there's a lot in stake behind the story. So I was expecting like this match to be like a lot more brutal than what it was, but it kind of seemed like they played it safe, which, you know, as the main event, you know, once that came out and Sammy was there, that kind of makes sense now. But I kind of still expected more out of this match. There was the one spot where, like, even on commentary, they're talking about how, Sammy wraps Luke Gallows' legs up in the chain, and then, like, you know, he attacks his leg. Then, like, as soon as he walks away, Gallows stands right back up like nothing fucking happened. So I was just like, oh, well, yeah, that's so much for selling, you know. But all in all, I think it was a decisive win that Sammy needed. Going into the storyline about him versus, you know, him and Kenny and him and Don. So overall, it was an okay opener. I just expected a little bit more out of this match.
I'll be honest. Once they said Tommy Dreamer was the partner, I knew this match wasn't going to be too crazy.
Like too crazy, yeah.
It's
like
I've only work at
yeah.
days, you know, and just like the whole hardcore aspect. There's like I wasn't really expecting much, but yeah. I do definitely see your point. Next up, we got Joe Doring coming out with Violent by Design versus Satoshi Kojima from New Japan Wrestling, the New Japan Wrestling Dad. It's a solid back and forth, man. Hard-hitting match. Kojima, I believe, becomes maybe the first person to knock Joe Doring down to off his feet. Yeah. Impact Wrestling since he's been here. Sick crossbody by Joe Doring onto Kojima. Just Kojima's not a big man, height-wise, but he is pretty solid. He's a very thick individual, and he's very solid, and he has a lot of mass. So that was a crazy crossbody, just a big impact, no pun intended. But, so Kojima counters with a nice lariat himself, or tries to go with the lariat, but Joe Doring counters with his own lariat. kind of like a ripcord lariat, into a fireman's carry, Death Valley fucking just toss. And then he hits a sick spinning power bomb. 1, 2, 3 for the win. I gave this match 2.5 stars. It was hard hitting, it was straight to the point, and it made Joe Doran look like a beast. I think at the end of this pay-per-view, he's one of those guys where you're like, God damn, like Doran looks like a beast. Like that motherfucker, you gotta pay attention to him in the future. And of course, he is a tag team champion by nature because they are tag team champs by design. So yeah, I enjoyed it. How'd you feel?
Yeah, I enjoyed this as well. I gave it 2 3/4 stars. I would have gave it probably 3 3 1/4 if they had like a little bit more time. But I think the time that they did have, they used it very well. It did seem like I know these guys are like up there in age a little bit, but they could still go in the ring. So it kind of was like a strong style of like an old strong style match. I don't want to call them grandpas. But yeah, like that was the type of vibe that I was getting from this match because they were hitting each other pretty hard, you know, and it was just like, but they're up there too, so they're not gonna try to go like too crazy, but still they still had that nice back and forth physicality going on in the match. I honestly went to this match thinking that I chose Kojima to win. I clearly was wrong, but I'm not even mad at it, you know, because these guys have history. I don't know too much of the history or seen that their previous matches, but I'm sure that they were just as physical or probably more physical since they were younger. But this was a good showing for people that haven't, you know, seen these guys before. And for Joe Doran, you know, they're building up Violent by Design to be even more violent and to be more laser focused on, you know, being the top or being a top stable in Impact. This was a definitive win that he definitely needed. So it all worked out for the best for Joe Doran and Violent by Design.
Yeah, definitely. They do look better coming out of this pay-per-view. We do have a tag team with championship match later on, but we'll get into that after, because next up we have the fatal 5-way match. Winner becomes number 1 contender to the Impact Championship match. I mean, to the Impact X Division Championship. That's what I meant to say. I'm high. Sorry, fellas. We have Ace Austin versus Trey Miguel versus Chris Bay versus Petey Williams versus Rohit Raju. Now, you know, these matches are usually kind of a car crash from start to finish, but this one was a little bit more tighter. It was a little bit more cleaner, which was cool. A lot of one-on-one exchanges before it eventually does become a car crash and usual spots. But I think Trey looked good. He looked fast. He looked crisp. He looked innovative with his nice offense. Trey and Petey Williams had dual submissions. I believe Rohit Raju and Chris Bay. And then they're just slugging it out while they got the submissions on them. I always like that spot. Ace Austin looking smooth as ever. He hits a nice double springboard leg drop. I forgot who it was, but the way they set it up, this man is smooth. That's the only way to describe him in the ring. He is smooth. Petey Williams. It's another super Canadian ultimate destroyer, whatever you want to call it. Austin from the top rope. But Trey breaks it up. Breaks up the pin. Madman Fulton's not dead. We thought they killed him last week on episode Impact when they hit him with a super Canadian destroyer. But he comes back and kills everybody. He hits a double choke slam, power bomb, power slam.
That shit was sick.
Don't know what the fuck to call it, but he basically took all 5 men in the match. Well, the rest of the 4 guys in the match besides Ace Austin, and killed him with one move. The referee rules no contest. Can't decide a winner because he pulls Ace Austin on one of the dead bodies, of course, to get the win. But the ref is like, nah, I ain't having it. Throwing out the match. Madman Fulton's pissed, goes after him. Comes back, gets Ace Austin. I personally don't like the non-finish, the no contest. So this match drops down to 3 1/4 stars. Could have easily been a 3.5, 3/4 star match, but 3 1/4 for me, just because of the ending. But not because of the ending. It was more because of the decision. Because I think Fulton coming out and doing that, he looked like a fucking animal. This episode, this Impact Plus special made every single big guy on this card look good. And we'll get into that later. But this match was dope. I like them. I just don't like the decision. How'd you feel about this?
I agree 100% with what you just said. I was on my way to giving it a 3.5, 3 3/4 stars because I just really enjoy this match. You know, it's everything we expect out of an X Division type of match. And then there's this multi-man matches with all this talent in it, and these guys showed up. But the decision on the finish really fucked this up for me because they said it's no disqualification. You know, so nobody was disqualified, but it was just a no contest. So because, you know, Madman Fulton came out and, you know, interjected himself in the match, but technically that's legal. You know, you would expect I didn't expect it to happen, but that sick, like it kind of just killed the momentum of that crazy ass 4-way move that he hit, like the double choke slam, power bomb move that he hit on all the other contenders, because like, all right, you do that shit, you know the match is over. And that's where it was going to, just for it to be ruled a no contest. So I mean, that was one of the six spots that happened in that match. But overall, yeah, the decision on the finish, it took the wind out of the match for me. I don't see why they didn't just let it roll, because Madman Fulton is just as much as the storyline up to this point as the other guys in the match. You know, they all jumped him to take him out. So for him to come back and to be a deciding factor in the match itself makes sense. But you know, overall, it was a great match. I definitely would have gave it 3.5 stars or more up until the decision of the finish. So I have to agree with you with 3 1/4. But now I want to see where they go with this, since 5 guys had a chance to be number 1 contender, and now nobody is. So I want to see where they go with that.
Yeah, that's the only I guess that's a positive coming out of this is tree of what happens next with the X Division scene. But we'll see what happens on the next episode of Impact. Next up, we got W. Morrissey going up against Rich Swann. What I thought was a good match as well.
Yeah.
Rich Swann was getting ragdolled a lot of the match. But he was, you know, doing his part. He's making Morrissey look good. High impact offense from Rich Swann, though, gets Morrissey down a few times. He hits a nice 450 splash off the apron onto the outside on him. He hit another second rope 450 splash inside the ring. And then he hit the Phoenix splash. But as he hits the Phoenix splash, Morrissey catches him, rolls over, and then throws like a little standing F5. Yeah. I hope I get a screenshot of that. If I do, I'm going to put it up right now. That man took flight. And then a nice power bomb. As you know, Morrissey's pretty much just standing over Rich Swann, admiring his work. Rich Swann throws him the middle fingers. Fuck you, I'm not dying. So Morrissey picks him up and hits him with another crazy power bomb from 1, 2, 3. Gave this match 3 stars.
Yeah.
That's the best big cast, Morrissey, whatever you want to
call
that cell match I've ever seen. He looked great. He's in great shape. He's moving good. The selling, there's a couple spots where like he kind of like set up his cell, like where he gotta like go into the post and shit. But he's a big dude, like, you know, you gotta. I don't want to nitpick, so I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. But other than that, man, just he looked good. Rich Swann doing his job to make him look good. And like I said, the big dudes in Impact Wrestling look great tonight, and I like that. We need more big dudes in wrestling, I think. But how'd you feel about this?
Yeah, I agree, man. Like, we're on point with this because I gave it a 3 stars as well. They went out there and did exactly what we expected. Well, not me, so to speak, because I made the bonehead decision of saying that Rich Swann will win this match with a roll-up. I'm not going to nitpick that. I'm glad that, you know, they surprised me. Not really a surprise to most people, but yeah, I went left field with that. Good match. Swann did his job in making Morrissey look great, which he did. He looked like a beast in this match. And then even Swann had his moments where it looked like he was going to take it, you know, like from the 450 splash to the Phoenix splash. I'm like, oh shit, he might actually win this. But overall, it was a fairly decent match. 3 stars. It definitely was the best that I've seen Morrissey in. If it's not a long time, then it's ever. You know, he looked great in this match. Uh, Powerful, looked strong. Now I'm invested and interested to see where he moves on from this. To see, does he go up the card? Does he stay just taking out mid card guys? Like what's next for him? But overall, they did a bang up job of getting Morrissey over for this but like the him as a heel, and him trying to be somebody in the company. They did a fantastic job of putting all that momentum behind him.
Yeah, definitely. I hope they keep him as like kind of like an attraction though.
Yeah.
From what I know, he hasn't signed a long-term deal, so he might on a per date type basis, which is because then you could kind of keep him as an attraction and just bring him in when you think you have a feud for him, instead of him out there every week doing nothing. Next up, we have Tenille Dashwood going up against Jordynne Grace. Tenille, of course, with Caleb with a K. Jordan is with Rachel Ellering. Decent back and forth match. I thought a little too long, but because the story that they told in this match, they could have told. But Rachel had a little distraction on the ref. I guess she was talking to the ref. I don't know why. Now she's doing that. Tenille and Caleb are beating up Grace on the outside, which I thought was funny because Caleb's just beating up women every week. But then he gets it eventually, so is I. But Grace puts a nice chokehold on Tenille. She's about to pass out, but Caleb distracts the ref, I'm sorry. Rachel takes him out, and Grace gets mad about it. She's mad that she helped her. Tenille gets the roll up and wins 1, 2, 3. Grace is pissed at Rachel for helping her. Says she could do it by herself. Jordynne Grace goes back to the ring, kills Caleb, so he gets what comes to him at least. But I give this match 2 stars because just a little too long. They could have accomplished this story in less time, and it would have been better. And I don't like the fact that she was mad because fucking if you wanted to take out Caleb, you should have just took him out yourself. You know what I mean? Like, don't get mad because she's trying to look out for you because the nigga's causing a distraction. It's not like she tried to, attack Tenille. That's a totally different story. So I don't know. I'm just iffy about this. Like, this is leading towards the Jordynne Grace heel turn, but I feel like they're just dragging it. Like, we just have to do it already. How'd you feel about this?
Once again, this is another match that I predicted incorrectly because I had Jordynne Grace going to take the win. And at one point, it seemed like that's where it was going to go. But, she took her eye off the ball and ends up blaming her tag team partner, and who was literally out there trying to help her out. Again, just like you said, if she wanted to take out Caleb with a K, and if she wanted to do it on her own, she could have just told. Like, that's the thing I don't get. She's like, oh, I don't need your help. I want to do it on my own. Then why'd you have your partner come out there with you to begin with if you wanted to do it on your own? Like, that just defeats the whole purpose of wanting to do it on your own if you got somebody out there to watch your back, or because that's what their tag team partner does. Or if anybody's at the ring in your corner in your favor, that's what they're going to do. So Rachel just doing her job. The match was decent, honestly. It was all right. I give it overall, I give it 2.25. But yeah, it was the whole Jordan flipping out, being mad at Rachel for literally, being out there to watch her back. And she's like, oh, I'm doing it on my own. I'm going to do it on my own. I don't need your help, And I'm just like, well, yeah, you should have just came out there by yourself then, And then that probably would have led to where were you at? You weren't out there to help me type of thing. So all in all, I'm waiting for the heel turn too now. I thought we would have got it there, but, it's cool. We'll see. Maybe it'll come up on the next episode of Impact.
Yeah, hopefully it comes sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Right now. Or I think that definitely the women's division can use it. Speaking of the Knockouts division, it is Fire and Flavor putting up their tag team championships against Kimberly and Susan. Not a bad match. The heels work on Tasha for pretty much the first half of the match, just going in and out. Kiera gets the hot tag, but Kimberly and Susan just regain the momentum. Susan drops the elbow on by accident, right? And break up a pin break. I haven't seen that in a long time, but the fact that it was Susan doing it, it makes it so much better because that's some shit she would do, right?
Yeah, hell yeah.
But nice superplex on Tasha Steelz after that. Eventually, Tasha gets a little comeback. She gets a nice missile drop kick to Kimberly and then hops back up top and hits the frog splash on Susan for the 1-2-3. And it is match 2.5 stars. It was a decent match, but it wasn't that long. It felt good, right to the point, told the story, had a nice few funny spots or whatever with Susan. It got its mission accomplished. We got to see who's next for Kimberly and Susan. I mean, for Fire and Flavor, but we'll definitely get on that next episode of Impact. How do you feel about this?
No, yeah, 2.5 stars. It's definitely just felt like the most I'll say complete, for lack of a better term, complete match. They went out there, did what they had to do. The timing was right, the action was right, everything was well paced and well placed for the match. So, not too crazy, but like not that bad. So 2.5 stars. It was good. Fire and Flavor. I like one thing that I did like about this match, not so much a Kiera Hogan, but Tasha Steelz. They're like fighting under and being like, I guess the default baby faces in this little feud, because you're not gonna make Susan's clearly not gonna be the face. Susan is definitely not gonna be a face in this, whoever she faces, But yeah, I like that aspect of the match. But overall, 2.5 stars. It was the most complete match in my opinion on the card. They would have had to do not too much, not too little, everything just right.
Next up, we have another tag team championship match, but it's Violent by Design putting up their titles against the K. Of course, is Rhino and Diener. Cody Deaner. It's a solid back and forth tag match. This is very, very story heavy in the beginning, for most of it, honestly. Just Eric Young coaching Cody Deaner throughout the match. Deaner getting dominated, going out for Young's guidance, but then doing what he got to do to try to defend these titles. Turns into a little car crash towards the end. Crazy Steve, Black Taurus, they actually look really good together. I like the chemistry between those two guys. We give Crazy Steve shit. I don't know why, but he's actually not that bad.
Yeah, he's been stepping up over the past couple months. I'm not even gonna lie. He's definitely been stepping up his game.
We're looking better, So we gotta give Crazy Steve some credit. But Deaner gets the win on Crazy Steve to finally prove his worth. Finally prove that he belongs in Violent by Design. Everybody's happy. Violent by Design looks like a bunch of monsters at this point. I like it. I'm here for it. I enjoyed the match, though. How'd you feel about it?
I enjoyed the match as well. I gave it 2 3/4 stars. It started off a little slow, but it picked up well. I like the story that started it, with Crazy Steve and Deaner both being under the tutelage of Eric Young, when they were first getting into the business. Now at this point, Steve's off with the K, and Deaner's finally back under the tutelage of Eric Young once again, and it just showed in this match where he couldn't get over Crazy Steve. He would just relegate back to Eric Young for more guidance and to get through him and see what he can and use that knowledge to best the Decay. Also, I like them in this match. Just something subtle on the outside looking in. Somebody call animal control. We got a black bull and a white rhino coming to clash. I wish those guys would have had a little bit more interaction in the ring. Just a tad bit more. It was all right for what it was. But overall, it was a solid match. I like the fact that Deaner was pretty much he was the weak link in the group, but he got the win, so he's not looking as weak as he's been pretty much booked to look lately. He'll take the L, or he'll be the fall guy in the tag matches and things like that. But all that brings it back to now where he's the one that led to them retaining their Impact Tag Team Championship. So I think that was good storytelling.
I like Crazy Steve climbing up the ropes, looking at Eric Young. Young's just, I thought you know better than that.
Yeah.
You know better, Steve. But it's because he trained him. just good shit. It was a good story.
Yeah.
And definitely Black Taurus and Rhino. That a little bit more of that. Imagine Prime Rhino with Black Taurus. That would have been.
Yeah. Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, that would have been cool. But speaking of the K, we got to go to the last match that we'll talk about today. It will be Rosemary getting her chance at Deonna Purrazzo for the Knockouts Championship. Solid back and forth match. Deonna working on the arm, working on her knee, just breaking down Rosemary, trying to get these submissions down. Rosemary being aggressive, overpowering Deonna at times. But at the end, it just came down to Rosemary's knee, not her arm, her knee. She had surgery on it a few times, I think. Deonna takes the brace off. She looks like she's about to use it, but doesn't. She just hits a vicious knee on Deonna Purrazzo. And then she hits a pile driver. It looked like a modified pile driver. She gets the 1, 2, 3. I gave this match 3.25 stars because it was good. I mean, it was technical, but it told a story, and then when it had to turn up, it turned up, and it drew you in. You kind of knew Deonna Purrazzo was gonna win, but I just wanted to see a good match, and Rosemary and her gave me that. So 3.25 stars. How'd you feel?
Man, if you make well, it's the last one. 3.25 stars because we just literally been on point with all our ratings together. Very good match. First of all, I'm gonna start at the top. We call her Deonna the Demon Slayer for this reason and this reason alone. Beating them, since Rosemary refers to herself as we, beating them and the demon, just solidifying herself as Deonna Demon Slayer Purrazzo. But the match itself was very good. A lot of back and forth action. It looked as Rosemary had a chance to pick up the victory and become the new Knockouts champion. Like there was times where it looked like she was going to put Deonna away, but the technical prowess of Deonna Purrazzo just went out there, showed why she is Impact Knockouts champion, and just going from the arm to the leg, and in essence, as much work that she did on the arms, it came down to the knee that she really didn't put that much work in on, but what she did to it was enough to Rosemary couldn't move, or she tried to put her up in I think she had her in like in a fireman's carry position at one point, but then she just had dropped her because she couldn't put all that weight on the knee, and then Deonna just put her away from there with the pile driver. So 3.25 was a very good match, and let's just have Deonna keep beating everybody. Let her go on to be the longest reigning Knockouts champion. She's run through I don't know who else she can face. Well, actually, I'll take that back. I know who else she can face, but that might be a major threat to her title reign. So let's just keep that. That's the only person I'm thinking of is Taylor Wilde, but this isn't about Taylor Wilde right now. This is about Deonna Purrazzo and why she is the top of the mountain in the Impact's knockout division.
Other than these great matches, we get Jake something almost killing Brian Myers while Brian Myers is backstage. He tells him, he gives him some good advice. Never sleep on the schoolboy because sometimes it becomes a schoolgirl. Watching Tenille versus Jordan, and Tenille won with the roll up. But Jake something gets pissed because Brian Myers is talking that shit, but he doesn't take the bait. Hey Sam, write this down. Don't take the bait. And looks like we're setting up for that feud. And Steve Macklin, another promo where he's talking about torture and time. He could talk some shit though.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, why the fuck didn't WWE like?
You know why? Because it's fucking WWE, bro. That's exactly why. That's exactly it.
I should have asked myself a rhetorical question. It's true. It's dangerous.
And it's crazy. You know what's crazy? The irony of this is they had Deonna and they didn't use her not nearly as much or nearly as good as Impact has. And now, since that's her boyfriend and Steve Macklin, now I'm already, and I really didn't give a fuck about the Forgotten Sons. Didn't care about them whatsoever. But now, over just 2 weeks worth of vignettes, I'm ready to see what this guy can do with Impact. Just like that. I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what it is.
That's true. I'm tired of trying to figure out what it is, though. I'm just enjoying everybody else, to be honest.
Yeah, I hear you.
Spread out, the better wrestling is. So I'll take it. But Ness, we're gonna put our thumbs out. We're gonna give this Impact Plus special a thumbs up, thumbs in the middle, a thumbs down. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I gave this a 7 out of 10. Thought it was solid. The main event delivered. All the matches hit. There wasn't really nothing bad or terrible. Yeah, I thought it could have been better. Could have been better. But I think they're saving it for Slammiversary, which is right. This was a strong 7. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I give it a. Damn, they just threw over my chain of thought. I give it a 7. I give it a 7.5. I also agree it was a strong show. It was solid. Nothing bad. Everybody definitely everybody showed up to perform. And as fans, that's all we ask. Everybody just show up and to do their job. Some matches were better than others. Some performances could have been slightly better, but everybody did good, and that's just a basis for a great, good show. So 7.5, it was, and the main show, mainly the half is for like the main event, just because I big booked the extra shit that happened. So I just wanted to throw that out there. But yeah, overall 7.5, it was a great show.
Match of the night, unanimous. Omega versus Moose.
Yeah, for sure.
MVP, I'm going to go with the big guys. I'm going to go with Morrissey, Joe Doring, and Madman Fulton. I think they all had fucking standout performances, no matter how long they were in the ring for. They all stood out to me. Moose and Omega honorable mention because they put on a hell of a match.
Right.
But yeah, I'll go with
yeah. Nah, yeah, that's I'm gonna reflect those sentiments as well. I'll give it to the big guys because literally they were the glue in all their matches for them to be as good as they were, in my opinion. More so for Morrissey versus Swan, it was Swan, doing what he does for the match. The big guy versus little guy, that's always a great matchup. But Morrissey held his own in that match as well. So I'll definitely give it to the big guys. This one's for the big guys. Yeah.
Actually, also honorable mention because I forgot to mention this during the match, but Rohit Raju, because when you look at this match, Ace Austin, Chris Bay, Rohit Raju, Petey Williams, Trey Miguel, who's the one that stands out that doesn't feel like a real X Division or like potential 5-star guy is Rohit Raju.
Yeah.
But he was actually not only holding his own, but he was doing some shit this match. Like he really showed me like his level of improvement from where he really was like 2 years ago has been fucking outstanding. Like he can hold his own with guys like Ace Austin, Chris Bay, Petey Williams, Trey Miguel. It was good to see. Honestly, it's just another name where you got to be like, damn, like this guy's very underrated. So as a character and as a worker in the ring. So I just wanted to throw that out there because I forgot. But Jabroni of the night. I mean, you're gonna have to give it to Sami Callihan. He got fired.
Because he got fired.
I won't. It wasn't on his day off, Craig, but still, he got fired.
Oh shit.
Like, I gotta give you, bro. Literally the only negative of this show. You got fired, dog.
I gotta agree, man. We gotta make it unanimous. That's damn. How you win your match at the start of the show, and now you gotta clean out your locker at the end of the show.
You went from Nashville to Jacksonville to get fired in Jacksonville. Now you got to go back to Nashville to get his shit, and then go back to Ohio because that's where he's from. It's a lot of traveling in one day.
Yeah, especially now that you're from the winner's line to the unemployment line. That's gonna, that doesn't help either.
It's gonna be a tough road for Sami Callihan, but hopefully we'll see more of that on the next episode of Impact Wrestling. This was a fun one. We want to thank everybody at home for watching with us. It was a good show. Ness, where can we find you at?
You guys can catch me on Twitter and Instagram at skinny__Kravitz, right here on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. I'm one half of Blunt Impact and Joints and Jabronis with Chris G. We form the Pot Heels. You can also catch me on Fusion of Honor with my man, the Stat King, man of 1,004 numbers, where we review MLW Fusion and Ring of Honor. You can also catch me on NX3 with, once again, Chris G and RAC, Romeo Anthony Cologne, where we review NXT. Catch me on roundtables. You can, well, by this time, it'll be out. We are having a live review of NXT in your house. Make sure you check that out. If you're not watching us live, get the playback on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. And as always, you can hear my illustrious voice on True Toxicity.
Oof. You can catch me on Twitter and Instagram, True Heel Chris G. No E, where the true is. Who's texting?
Yeah, I just got the same thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is it SP3?
Nah, it's Romeo. He said he's not gonna be able to be on the round table.
He'll probably produce though.
Yeah, that's what he literally said the same. He literally says that in the message.
That's fine. I'll hold this down. Oh fuck, that means I really gotta pay attention and write down notes. All right, you can.
Is Sid not gonna be there?
I don't know. If he is, then I'm good.
Oh, but they usually want you to, because he usually wants like whoever actually does the show to man.
If Romeo's not there, because he's usually the one that holds out NX3 for
right.
us. So if he's not there, he'll probably take over. But I don't know if he's gonna be. We'll see though. We'll be good. We'll be fine. We always.
Yeah, for sure.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at True Heel Chris G. You can find me right here on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. Blunt Impact, Joints and Jabronis with my man, 3-time baby making champion Ness. We also do an NX3 with Romeo Anthony Cologne. You can find us on roundtables. You can find us on Blunt Impact specials, wherever you find us. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit those thumbs up, hit that bell for the notifications so you know when we drop a video, you're ready to light one up and watch along with us. So for the three-time baby making champion Ness, for our co-host Mary Jane, see you next week.
Peace, sucker.